the oasis of the Holy Family of Nazareth. The daily pattern and individual program. The oasis message is part of a private vision which I make available to anyone who's interested, so that they can be aware that God is a reality. God is a being who is very powerful and very loving, and God is in charge of the world situation. We know that at present the world situation is accelerating into a very dreadful, debased, demoralized misunderstanding of everything that life should be, because people are simply not acknowledging God as a supreme being who is in charge of the world. Through the vision that I experience daily, Mary is explaining to me the way in which a protective scheme will develop alongside a supernatural help, which will be very visible and powerful and constituted of light. People who are able to be helped by this supernatural development will need to be moving now very quickly into an orientation, a direction which is real and true and good. Mary, over many years, has offered people a way in which they can be changing their life very radically in order to make it more meaningful to themselves, so that they are preparing themselves for this final event. At this stage, she would ask people to come at this radical change in a most realistic way. Otherwise, she says, you are merely involving yourself in fantasy, in something that is utterly nonsensical, and you will not be able to be helped in any way as the world slides into this chaos. Mary has always prescribed for those interested a daily pattern, which is utterly simple, because she says that the more one is able to keep life very simple, the closer one comes to spirituality, and the closer one is able to come to God. So she would recommend that people move into a new pattern of life which is radically simplified. In other words, she asks people to remove from their life everything that is burdening them. This applies to too much of anything that is material, and she leaves people very free to decide for themselves within their own life what this means. She asks people then to look at the material development of their own life in a very simple way, so that they are moving into their life with an emphasis not so much on goods that are physical and money and the importance of money, but rather the need to be simply well and happy and peaceful and free in one's daily life. And she says that the fewer physical attachments you have, the much easier it is to be well and happy and peaceful and free in a very simple, balanced way, which is coming at life much more realistically, because she would say that many of the physical trappings, the material trappings, the emphasis on money, the emphasis on false images of ourselves and other people, is leading us into an illusion of life that's not real. So she would ask people to rid themselves very, very radically now of anything that is helping to create this illusion within their own life. And as an individual, she asks you to approach this in a very realistic way, in a very honest and sincere way. Otherwise, there is absolutely no meaning in what you're doing. On the psychological level, she knows that the daily pattern has to once again be balanced, so that people are trying to rid themselves from the psychological clutter of life, which is again stopping them from being well and happy and peaceful and free. And she would ask people therefore to try to work into their day a simple system which lets them really understand that each day has meaning. And so she would say, first of all, devote much of your day to a time or times when you are able to be quiet, to let your mind slow down, and to open up your heart in a very simple, sincere, humble, trusting attitude, so that God can come in. Let God into your day. If you don't let God into your day, there's no way in which your day will be peaceful or happy or free, because you will be cluttering it up with everything that is not of God. So she asks people to let God in times of the day which are used for prayer and reflection and meditation, and a quietness which slows you down to a stillness which lets your heart open out and lets your heart begin to function in the way that it should. And she says the heart is all about love, and the mind should simply lead you to the heart, so that you can begin to understand that God has given you your life out of love, so that you use this love that He gives you to be fulfilled in yourself in a very peaceful, happy, free way, and then to be able to help other people to be like this, because this is how life should be. And unless we can get rid of the clutter and the unnecessary trappings of the mind, which are not really important, then we're not able to help ourselves or other people in any true way. And so the psychological pattern is simply asking people to get rid of pressure, to link up with the spiritual aspect, which is to try to be close to God, to feel that He's there, to feel that He's keeping you alive, that He's giving you your life, and He wishes you to use your life very positively and fruitfully within the spirit of life, which really makes life bright and colourful and joyful and happy, because the spirit of life doesn't turn inwards to yourself, but involves you with life and with everything and everyone in life, so that as you move through your day, you're relating to people and to situations in this very peaceful, happy, free, loving way. And you're realizing that you're moving with God, you're moving with God's Spirit, in a true way that's meaningful. And so your day is meaningful, and much of the unnecessary anxiety and pressure, which is, Mary says, linked with the illusory things, the things that aren't real, the material pressures, which aren't really the essence of life. So she would say, move very simply within your day in this way, keeping the balance between stillness and activity, enjoying leisure time as a recreation of yourself and everything that is deep down a part of you, and using your skills and abilities in this way, creatively and enjoyably, so that they bring you happiness, and then to try to use them for other people so that it brings other people happiness. And the work situation, she knows, is dominating in many cases. So she asks people to keep this down to a minimum level, so that one is working in a way that is necessary, but not pandering to the whole concept of work, and rather trying to get the balance in the day which allows people to move within this whole idea that life should be creative, life should be balanced, life should be centered on God and love, and move out from here to other people using everything that is beautiful and good and loving in oneself for these people, so that life can build up a momentum of happiness and joy and well-being, which is sensible and real. And mealtime should enter into this, because people should be using their mealtime for recreation, for leisure, for energizing in a wholesome way, that is, letting food become a part of this balanced lifestyle, enjoyable, in a way that is moderate, in a way that sometimes shows discipline, to empathize with others in the world who are not able to enjoy food, but wishing that this whole understanding of making life happy for everyone is able to grow, because this is really the whole meaning of life. This will lead us into the new world that God is about to offer in a very realistic way, for those people who can decide that they wish to be with Him in this new pattern of life, which understands that life is meant to be good and real and simple and happy and loving and full of every kind of lightness and brightness and colour and energy and vitality. And the individual program relates to this in your own individual way, because it asks you to work out a simple plan which is for you as an individual, so that you can work the daily pattern into your life in a unique way, in a way that allows you freedom, in a way that allows your own individuality and initiative to come to the fore, so that God is seeing this, so that Mary is seeing this, so that life begins to be much more meaningful for you, and life begins to understand itself as life within the sphere that you're moving, and people that you come in contact with understand that you're living your life in this true way, this new way, this way that God wants increasingly to see enacted within the world, so that He can reconstitute the world and make it a world that is beautiful and good and true and loving and full of lightness and brightness and colour and perfect happiness for everyone. This must be our individual vision. We must come at this vision in our own individual way. Otherwise, we are not allowing God to see that we are moving with Him in the way that He is now asking.